I am the owner and creator of everything you find at CarolJo's.com. I am just going to be pulling up my backup account so that I can see TikTok's comments easier. And I'm waiting for both YouTube and TikTok to notify everybody that we are live. And then we'll get started with our intro and what we're doing today. All right. Welcome in, everybody. I am almost to, there we go. And my backup account is showing me live. So, all right. So I am Carol, the owner and creator of everything you find at CarolJo's.com. CarolJo's is an online jewelry and accessory business for women, but I do more than just making the jewelry and posting it. I don't even really talk about my website very much, just in the intro. That's about it. But what we do here on social medias is three different things. We have chat time twice a week, which we've already had both of those already this week, where we just sit and talk about whatever you guys have for questions about jewelry making and running our small business. And you guys can ask any question you want about it. The other things that we do is that we do sales. I do sell all different types of things for making jewelry, like the silicone beads that you can do for the wristlets, the pens, the keychains, that type of thing, the cup charms. We've got that. We can also, I sell the regular beads on Friday nights at 7 p.m. And just so that you can make the jewelry of what we've shown throughout the week. We also will have special days. We'll have one Saturday a month. I have a charm sale day. We've had a cabochon sale day recently. We did the Heshi polymer clay beads. And we have a surprise one that I haven't said what the surprise is yet for this Saturday. So we've got that one also. Saturday will be at 10 a.m. Central.
How many kits do you want us to make?
Do
you want us to use all the focals?
All the focals that are on the countertop.
Okay.
Yep, that's what we want.
Okay.
All right, and then I need a count on those also.
Okay.
So
Rhonda's on the last one right now.
Okay. Thank you. Sorry. I have two ladies that work for me that are working right now. So they do interrupt with questions, which is fine. It's all part of running a business. And this is my small business that I do run, and I am doing it full time now. It's not something that is just a hobby anymore. It's my full-time job. So that is what we have for our other lives. Today's live is a tutorial, and it is titled Wrist Candy. So when you think of your wrist, it is a bracelet. And I really purposely did not put out any pictures of this one because I wanted you to kind of like think about what could it possibly be. And it's going to be very simple when I tell you this. I am trying to, when we are teaching all the different types of things that we're doing, gearing it towards the current trends. So we are into that spring, summer of 2025. Well, I hope so too, dude. I hope you're having a good day. But so what we want, or what we're looking for, hi Mia, is that we're looking at bracelets that is a single bracelet that, well, sorry, I just speak this way, that are on trend. And so one of them that I kept seeing as a trend, and every time I saw it, all I could think about was candy. And that is why I ended up calling this tutorial, hi him 2869, wrist candy, because of the colors. So I'm going to show you one that I have created. Here it is on TikTok, and here it is on YouTube. So you guys can see it close up. Do you see? It's just colorful beads put together that are part of the summer colors that we have this year. And it's just, it doesn't have to have, thank you. It does not have to have a theme behind it or a pattern behind it if you don't want to. I'm going to grab my necklace that we have created before for that one that we call the Chunky Dangle necklace. And if you look at it, this is also following that trend of where when you look at it, I kid you not, more people said this looks like different types of candy. One person said Skittles. Buttercup calls this a nerd rope. So when you think about all these colors put together that are the popular colors for this summer, it is candy inspired in my mind. I don't know about the rest of you. You guys can put it in the chat what you think, if that is like what you see when you see candy. So that is why I decided today we're going to call this one wrist candy. You can wear this bracelet by itself and just have something colorful. Thank you, Kelly girl. I will tell you, I don't hide it. Yep, that's what, yep, Mia's got it, the nerd gummy clusters. I am actually 52. So someone's over here asking me how old I am. And I don't mind telling people my age. It is what I am. It's just a number. That's what my grandpa taught me. So I'm going to pan down now. Nope, I am not. And when I pan down, I will not see comments here on YouTube because I do not have a backup of it, so I won't be able to see them. So don't think that I'm ignoring you over here. But over here, I will be able to see them on my backup account. But I'm going to pan down and I'm going to show you some of the beads that I grabbed that I just was like, okay. And then I'm going to give you some of the tips and advice that I have. Some ladies, the reason why is some ladies do not like being asked their age. I'm not one of those. So I can tell you, I'm not. All right. So there we go. You're going to see some beads here in their containers. And over here. I'm going to scooch them over a smidge that way so you guys can see them all. So, what I have here is just a whole bunch, and I'm going to see if I need to scoot it up so TikTok gets it out of the comments. Let me know if I went the right way here or not. Nope, I didn't. I got to go this way. There. I'm still going to be a little bit in the comments, everybody. Sorry. All right. But what I grabbed was different ones. I grabbed, this is still a transparent bead in pink, but this is an electroplated faceted round, I believe. Let me take it out and double check the shape of it. Yep, this one's a round. So with that being that, it adds sparkle if you want to put that one in there. We talked about different textures on Tuesday, I believe it was, on our live. But then here I grabbed a pink, and these are just a crackle or transparent. Let me double check if it's crackled or not. Nope, it is not. It's just 100% transparent round bead. No faceting, so we don't get the added sparkle, but it is a very cool type bead to me when you're thinking candy. You know, it's got that candy color. Here I have an orange opaque, and opaque means you can't see through the coloring. So you've got that, and then I did it in a faceted rondelle. I was going to say, I'm trying to read and I can't see the name. I think it's Ben. Okay. This one, I think that's awesome to hear because I do believe in it, but we just don't talk about religion here. This one is a transparent orange with an AB on it. It is no faceting on that one. And then this is a lighter color. But when you look at all these colors, what I'm showing you is that you can put this bracelet together using different shapes. You can have the faceted or non-faceted. You can have opaque and transparent. The one thing I'm going to say is if you're going to bring in opaque and transparent together, you need to have at least 2 opaque beads in there, not just one. You know, because if you just have one, it's going to stand out. Hello, Candy. So I have over here on the purple side, I have 2 different opaque beads here. One's a lighter purple and one's more of a deeper, like orchid purple. So in this case, if I'm going to use these beads, I'm going to pick one of these 2 purples and this one together and make a bracelet with those in with some of the other colors that are transparent, if that makes sense. I also picked out a square bead. You can do a square one. Hi, Melissa. You just don't want to be all squares. You would have to have a spacer in there. And this bracelet, I think, doesn't call for a spacer bead just because of all the colors going on. It just flows. So I don't know if you can use a spacer. I'm just not going to, all right? I just grabbed colors that I looked at and thought candy when I look at them. Like your kids' candy literally is what I did when I grabbed these beads. There was no, like pre-planning of what I'm going to make. I literally just grabbed beads because we talked about how in the world how do I select beads? And that was one of the things I got to do a better job at telling you all about is how I selected them. I went in and I picked this orange, and when I picked the orange, I knew I had to have another opaque, and I found some in purple, and I was like, I'm done. I got 2 opaques. I didn't pick any more. Could I have picked all opaques? Probably, but I don't want to spend a ton of time picking beads because it takes away from your creative time. It also adds time to making the bracelet or whatever you're working on. Oh, you're okay, Gladys. We're just talking about how I pick the beads right now before we start on this. And if you spend a lot of time taking and picking beads, it adds to the cost if you're going to resell it. So that's why we got to be conscious about how much time you take. Literally, to pick all these colors of beads and to make one bracelet took about 15 minutes. But I have colors here that I can make more than one bracelet. So that's why I grabbed extra beads, is that I could sit down now and probably knock out like 3 or 4 different bracelets using different combinations. So then I'll have the time to put it back. So that's what I want to say is sometimes you can't sit there and take a half an hour to pick out your beads, or it is going to not be cost effective to make your creations if you're one that's reselling. If you're one that you're making it for yourself or for a gift for somebody, take the time to do it because then you're intentional about making it for somebody. But I'm talking about when you are making a lot of creations to sell, do not take the time. Just go with your heart and your eye. All right. So I am going to move the beads off to the side for here, and I'm going to put down what I'm going to use to bead on. I have a bead map, just the plain old bead map. That's one of the things you're going to need. Your other tool that you're going to need is the bead stopper. And I use a ruler to cut off the right amount of stretch cord. You don't have to use a ruler. If I am doing these on a cookie sheet, when I'm sitting in the living room making, I use the width of my cookie sheet as my guide to it. So I don't even have a ruler. You're going to use the clear stretch cord, or if you're a person that likes the elastic cord, you use that. You cut yourself off a 12-inch piece or so. You'll need a pair of scissors to do that. And then we'll get our stretch cord out of the way, the big bulk roll of it. You use your spring, open that up for the bead stopper and put it on your cord. Now that is ready for what beads I want to put on it. Now I got to select the beads off of what I had before. I'm going to go with I'm going to use these. I have the 0.8 millimeter stretch cord. It is just like what you do for Stretch Magic. So I might stick with 6 millimeters for this one. I gotta move my beads over. I might just go in rainbow order here. Oh, that might not. I might have to change out my purple because my opaque purple are 8 millimeters and all my other beads are 6. And I've got a mix of faceted, non-faceted, and all that, and that is fine. But the thing that's going to throw me off is if I put an 8 millimeter bead in here, Hi, Denise. And so I am going to see if I can find an opaque 6mm. So just give me a second. As I'm looking at that, when I picked them out, I'm like, yep, that's not what I want. Oh. Here we go. I got one now. It took me a moment to find that one. We have, whoops, I'm dropping them. This is the color purple I'm going to go with. Okay, can you guys see all the colors, or do I need to move it this way a little bit? And maybe that way? All right. Can you guys see them? And you can go in the rainbow color order if you want. That's just what I happen to have done. Or we can do it in any order we want. And I have no idea what order I want to do it in. I think it's going to be hard for me. I know this is going to sound really weird, that if I just move these two around, because then it would be faceted round the opaque rondelle and then around color. And if I switch those around, they're there, but I only have one switch then of the rainbow, and that would drive me nuts. So I think what I'm going to do is do this here, there, then move him over here, here, here. Now let me see if I like that. I do not. It is too, like, this center is like, well, maybe when it goes around. Let me see something here. There. Okay, I like that better. So I'm not going in rainbow order. I'm going in order of round, faceted rondelle, faceted round, round, faceted rondelle, faceted round. So there's no rhyme or reason to it. And we could even, like, I think I'm going to make one more quick change and throw it up just a little bit more. Let's see what this looks like. And you can always change it. There. Let's see what this is. And I'm just creating my pattern and just picking up the beads as I go. Some people like to lay out their bracelets or their jewelry before doing it. Sometimes I will do that. Sometimes it's just a matter of laying the beads out and seeing if I like how they look in the pile. Hello, beads, beads. So here is, thank you. I love my 49ers. So there is the color combination. Does that look like candy to you guys when you see this? Thank you for the heart me there, August. And if anybody else gifted over on TikTok and I didn't see it, thank you. Sorry. I need to sit back in my chair. I am doing stretch cord. Hi, Crafty Galaxy. I am doing stretch cord today. I'm liking that. You know, when I said earlier today, hi, Rose, we talked about that we had the polymer clay Heshy beads. Those would be perfect for this trend. But I don't plan on bringing those back in anytime soon. I wish I would have, like, remember, I'm trying to be more purposeful about what I pull when, and I wish I would have thought of that when I went to do that, so that it could have been purposeful and done it right around there. Thank you, Gladys, for that comment. 10 shares, 10,000 likes, and we'll do a giveaway. Sometimes the beads will start sticking to themselves. It's all in how they were, the finishing of them to get the color in there. Sometimes that will make them stick together. There we go. Thank you, Rose, for the squirrels. Buttercup was so excited about those squirrels last night. So I went with them again today. All right. There we are so far. See, when you come around with this one, when you look at it this way, you don't see it as much. But when you go around in that circle, I know I need to do at least one more here. But doesn't that look like candy? Like, you know, I don't know if anybody else, when they were kids, did you guys have the candy bracelets? Hi, Arlene. How are you today? Thank you. And that's what this is about, is that we're creating things. Yep, even Smarties today. So, like, think of those things. When you so then when you think of wrist candy, no, I do not double string. To double string means that you would have to use a smaller size to get it through the holes. Because most glass beads, and that's what I'm using today, are it's a little bit over 7. I'm gonna go one more. Most glass beads have a 1 millimeter size hole in them. If you try to put a 0.8 in there twice, that's 1.6 when you multiply it by 2, and you have a harder time getting it through. So I just use the 0.8 and go through it once, and then I will, I actually do glue my holes, or not my holes, I'm looking for the hole, that's why I'm saying hole. I do glue my knots. Yep. And I don't know if you guys saw me do that earlier. When I pull it off, I am stretching it, and I do stretch, but I don't say it. So thank you for, yep, I do it. So there we are. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of the pattern. But you don't even have to have a pattern. You could have randomly done this one if you wanted to. So this is a little bit over 8. It's an 8 1/4 inch when it's all like straight. But as we know, the inside diameter is going to take up some of that beads, will take up some of that space. So it'll be somewhere around a 7 3/4 to an 8 inch bracelet is what this one will be in the end with a 6 millimeter size. And I was going to say, over on YouTube, I can't see comments. So if you're saying hi and everything, I will say hi back. The average size wrist is 7.5 inches is what I was taught. But when I do them for shows, I make them in all sizes. I go from 6.5 up to an 8. But there are a lot of people I'm finding out that have a larger than 8. And I didn't have a whole lot when I did shows, but as we've been on the lives and stuff, people in different areas have larger wrists than we do around here. And I don't know why. And if you look at me, you would think I would need to have a really big wrist, but my wrist is actually 6 3/4, 6.5 to 6 3/4. So you can't look at a person and know what their wrist size is. Ruby, I have not seen you in forever. I just saw your thing pop up. If you're in here, I can hear it. Hello, I miss you. I miss seeing you. So that is what we're going to go in, and I'm going to tie it. I have my left hand and my right hand. My left hand is going to go over the top and create an X. So you have the X over the right. Go through the middle and come up and back around. And then over here, we have our right side and our left side. So we're going to do the right over the top of the left. Go create that X. And you see that little hole there? Let me get down there. Go through. And then pull it tight. Pull that knot tight. Then grab both sides of the bracelet, the beads, just in case. And then pull on it to see if it doesn't open. That knot doesn't open, so we're good. Then what I do is I use hypo cement glue. This is what I use to glue it. You will notice there's a little tip here, and I get that tip right into where my knot is and just put a drop of that glue on there, close it back up, and let it dry. I let it dry for at least, I usually, when I'm doing mine, I let mine dry overnight. And then I will cut the ends off the next day. If you want that bracelet today for whatever reason, let it dry at least a half an hour. I'm trying to get that little tip back in. So this takes a little bit. My word of advice, if you're going to make a whole bunch of bracelets on one day, glue once. Then you only have to worry about getting that tip in one time. I got a piece of hair on my finger. There we go. Because it is not easy. Ha, got it. So I literally will glue all of my bracelets all at once, so I don't have to worry about trying to get that tip in multiple times. So I'm going to let this be for a half an hour before I cut off the ends. I'm going to put away my beads. Remember how I had all those beads sitting on my table? What I did to know what beads go where is, you know how I had them laying down when I was showing them to you? I stand them up when I took the beads out, so I knew which ones my beads came out of. Just a little bit if you have these type of containers. I love these containers because I can take them wherever and I can bead and not worry about them falling out. And then they go in the trays that we have back there. So all my beads are off of my bead mat. Put back in their things. I need to put them back in their trays, which I will do off camera because I pulled them all off from different trays. So now to cut this, I'm going to come up so that I can see what I'm doing in the camera and know that you guys are going to get that and see that. Okay. I'm kind of crooked here on YouTube. Sorry. And also on TikTok. Ugh, there we go. All right. Whoa, you guys are really crooked now. You went the other way. Let's get you back in the middle. There we go. All right. Sorry. Took you guys on a seesaw ride. I have this one I did before the live. So he is ready to be cut. I have this pair of scissors that has a really pointed edge to it so that I can get in there. I take and fold those beads down, and then you have that, and you can see the knot then. I take the tip of my scissors and just go in here and get as close as I can to that knot. Sorry, I'm trying to get this to stop moving on me. And then I just cut one side and then I cut the other side. And I do fold it over my finger too to try to get in as close as possible. And then there, you can see that there's hardly any. There you can see where the tail is at. Can you guys see where that tail is at? There's very little of that tail left. Some people push that into a bead and hide it rather than gluing it. I have never used B7000, but some others have talked about using the B7000. It is actually made for beading, the 7000. The 6000, isn't like that one's an all-purpose one. The one thing that I will tell you not to use here on Stretchy is super glue. And super glue's components will ultimately deteriorate the stretch cord. I have always just used E6000 since that was what I was taught. The first day I was did jewelry or make, the very first thing I ever learned, we've just talked about this the other day, was to make a stretch bracelet. And since that day, and that day was 20 years ago in May, we're trying to figure out what day in May. And we think it was the weekend before Mother's Day. So, hey, that might be helpful now that I've thought about it. Because we said it was before, but I never went back in the calendar. Let me see if we can figure this out. I know it doesn't mean much to you guys, but I was trying to figure this out the other day. It was 2005. And it was the Mother's Day would have been the 8th. So it was either the 7th or the 14th of May. Because it was right around Mother's Day that my sister and I learned how to make bracelets. So it's coming up really close to 20 years since I made my very first bracelet. Do I still have my very first bracelet? I do. Is it I was going to say, I think I still have it. I really do. But what happened is that I never restrung that one over 20 years. And when we went to clean my dresser off the other day, Buttercup and I, we broke the stretch cord. So it took 20 years for it to deteriorate. So it's in a container, not in there. My sister is who was doing it with me, my sister. And she never got into jewelry making as much as I did. She still will come and make jewelry with me. But she does a whole lot of other crafts. And I stuck with jewelry because I honestly love doing it. It was like, it's what I wanted to do. I don't know how else to say it than when I started making jewelry, I found a love. I love, love, love doing it. And so the first year I made jewelry for everybody. And yeah, it is the calming thing. And the thing that I find with making jewelry is that, we made this bracelet very, very quickly. I made this one very quickly too. And so it's something that I can see instantly almost what I created. I have done the cross stitch, the embroidery. I have done crochet. I do not know how to knit. I was taught how to sew, but I stink at sewing a straight line. But I can sew, and I've done it. I've made the Barbie clothes. I have, made other things. Hi, Rosemary. Yes, you were on yesterday. And it's just something that I liked and I stuck with it. Yeah. And so what I will say, Crafty Galaxy, about people finding it stressful is one of the things, one of my friends, we used to have my friends come out here all the time, and we would have like about once every 2 months a beading Saturday. And then life just got to be where my kids started in high school, because this was before they were in high school, and we could do it. But once they got into high school, your Saturdays are all filled up with kids activities. So it just kind of went by the wayside. And so, but she taught me how stressful it is for others, because she said, I have something I want to make and I need something in blue. And I laid out, as you can tell here, I'm going to scooch over it. This is before I had this system. But even with this one, my blue starts here and goes all the way to the ground. So there's 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 2, 4, 6, 1, 2, 38 trays of blue beads. When I laid them out, it overwhelmed her because it was too much. And it stressed her out trying to find it. So then we had to narrow it down. Do you want dark blue or light blue? Do you want glass or gemstones? And so I figured out when people find it stressful, it's because to them, sometimes it's the stress of picking out the beads and the stress of putting it together. So she taught me that not everybody could just grab beads, look at them and go, okay, here they are. And Rainbow last week taught me, I've never explained how I pick out beads. I just literally, you guys watch me, I just grab trays, but I have a thought in my head and I've never explained that thought to you. I just grab and go. And so I'm trying to take a step back and tell you how I pick out beads. Literally, that's why we started it out with, this is what I picked out and why I did it. I am glad, Arlene, that you are learning and enjoying it, because it is something for me that is just calming. That is the best way to put it, Patty. So, but with today's tutorial, I knew it wasn't going to be a long one, but I wanted you guys to see how you can use beads that you have and create something that's on trend. So add it to an outfit that you have, or then you can make it if you want to sell. And you can let them know this is the trend we're going on right now. Crafty Galaxy says, do you have them organized by colors only or by size and material as well? I do not organize by size. I organize by color and material. So if you see on mine, you'll see like this says blue. You probably can't see it because it's far away. But then this one's my wood beads. This is my blue pearl, porcelain, and then 3 trays of acrylics. Down here we have gemstone. We have porcelain again. So there's probably porcelain and gemstones in that one. Gemstones all the way down. And then glass. We have some gemstones and shells, and then glass all the way down to the rest. I don't organize by size in them because of, for me, it would take a lot more trays to do that. And these trays are not inexpensive. Here, I'm going to grab, this one might not be full. Oh, it is. So we're missing one there. But these are, if we did them by size, because the different amount of beads in each one and stuff, you would have to have more of the trays to get them in there by size. I know it sounds kind of weird, but I started doing it and it was taking too many trays. So, and this is my personal bead collection. This isn't the ones that I usually sell, just to let you know too. I have the ones that I sell are in a totally different area. The name of my system that I have for mine is called Elizabeth Ward Bead Storage Solution. Elizabeth Ward actually came up with the idea for it, but she has allowed others to create it, like package it up and also distribute it. So you can go out there and find them all over the internet. I just have the name brand ones. There are some that you can get that are not name brand. And I know the Joann's near me had the mini ones only at 40% off. They didn't have the mixed size like what I just showed you. Yep. Off brands. That's a great way to put that. Off brands. I love it. So, yep. And Walmart is where I had to go to buy the rest of mine. So what happened, and I will be honest with you guys, because I sell jewelry, like retail, you can find wholesalers and you can sign wholesale contracts. And I found one of the distributors for it when I actually contacted, of all things, in the middle of the night. I had seen a video that was Katie Hatcher. She is a jewelry maker and she does TV shows on different TV programs. She has done publication works, that type of thing. And she had this series that you could watch her make, where you can watch her or other people make jewelry. And she had this system as like one of her organization segments. And I was like, I love it. So after I watched the video in the middle of the night, I'm like Googling the system that she said it was, because she just said it's this. And when I Googled it, I found Elizabeth Ward's personal email. Literally, it was her personal email. And I messaged her in the middle of the night and said, where can I buy these? Do I buy them from you? Can I find out where to buy them? And I don't do flips, sorry. And so she emailed me back in the middle of the night. You can tell we're entrepreneurs when you're emailing in the middle of the night. And she's like, here's some distribution places to get it from. And one of them was a wholesaler. And so I did use her list to find out which one was the best way to buy them cost effectively. And it was a distribution company of craft supplies. And Michael's ended up buying them out before I completed my wall. And so I did go to Walmart to finish them out because that's one place I could get them at. Walmart actually was less expensive, but I bought them and throughout all of the Walmarts in Sioux Falls and sold them out. And then the Walmarts don't have them in the store, but you can order them online. So yeah, it was a long process. This is a 2.5-year process to get that organized the way it is. No. Nope. We're PG here. So that's my organization. And I know I've talked about organization. I don't know if they are recorded out on YouTube or not, but that is a good one for me to add on to our list of what we can do for tutorials. All right. So I added that in there. Thanks, Michelle. All right. So I am actually going to end. I know we're not at a full hour, but I'm going to end it because we are still working on getting everything ready for Saturday's surprise sale. Oh, yeah. See? Oh, what? You like the Niners too? They're my faves. We are a house of all different teams. And last night we talked about it. I'm the only Niner. We all have a different team. There's no two of us with the same one. Yep. I will be back, just to let you guys know, I will be back at 3 o'clock. We're going to do the last silicone sale for this week. I need to pull yet the red, yellow, orange beads. And I will bring some of those. Oh, we got our goal. So I've got to do that before we leave. I'm going to bring those. I will be bringing some large character ones that we can make keychains out of. There's not very many. I will also be bringing the, I don't have one here because, Little Miss Buttercup has all the pens that has them on. This one is about making jewelry and buying and purchasing things to make jewelry. So you know what? I will tell you, Wyatt, I've had people stop and be like, you're a Niner. And then sometimes people will be like, that are jewelry makers, they'll follow. But if they don't, because I don't talk about 49ers, I get it. So, okay, pinks and purples, let's see. We're going to bring where you can put in a piece of bling right here and bling up the pens. I'll be bringing those at 3. We did the candy bracelet. I'm waiting for this one to dry. So someone asked what we did here. And then this one. Yep, we're going to bring the bling. I got to figure out the price of them before we come because I haven't done that yet. So that's one of the things I was going to do. Yep, they're the wraps. And the book charms. I'm going to bring the book charms. There's not very many, everybody. I did, you love the translucent one, this one. I think it turned out really cool. I'm going to show you. This is the translucent one. I did see that we're just going to talk tariffs. We're not talking politics. We're just talking tariffs. That they are looking at decreasing the amount of tariffs. But the amount of the tariff that they're decreasing it still gives me like angst, I will tell you. Hi, Allie. Thank you, Wyatt. I just saw your comment. Thank you. I would love, I will tell you, I don't have a problem paying tariffs. When I started doing beading, they did not have that $800 limit for your orders. And if you guys have heard me, I say I place a lot of orders because I knew there was that $800. If you kept your order under 800, you didn't have to pay tariffs. So you know what? If I break up an order into 2, 3, 4, 5 orders just to not have to pay tariffs, okay, I'll do that. It doesn't bother me. But, the tariffs were like 10 to 20%. I don't have a problem paying that. And if they would have taken that back with that $800, limit, I don't have a problem. I literally don't. If it's to help our country get out of debt, sign me up. I will do it. It just means that, you know what, our dollars won't go as much, like, we will still sell the same amount, but we won't have as much items out. And that's okay. If that's what it takes, okay. This is my personal opinion, everybody. But still, they're looking at that he said he was going to decrease it 50 to 65%. That still puts it at like 80 to 90% tariff. And to me, that's still high. To me, that's high. I want us to get down to like below 20 or 30. Yep, I know. I get what you're saying there, Rose, about the history of it. There are other things, other ways that we could probably do it, but we don't run our country like a business. That's my personal opinion, and I don't want to talk politics about which side did what, da-da-da. That's it. That's my it for talking about that. We talk about it from a business aspect of how it will affect us. They are said between 50 and 65%, and it's still, they left it at 140. So or 145. So if you do 50% off, that's 95%. And if you do 65, that gets you down to 80. So 80 to 95% tariff. So you're looking at about double the cost. So if a strand of beads cost $1 yesterday, if I have to pay tariffs on it, it's going to be not quite $2. And I don't want it to be like that. I would rather it be $1.25. I don't know. You can call me silly, but that's where I will be okay. But we'll see. And so I haven't purchased anything to be shipped while we're in this influx because number one, all the shipping companies cannot figure out how to do the tariffs and where we're going to be at. So they have shut off shipping from China. So I can't even get it here. Even if we got it to the U.S. by a ship, I still would have to pay the tariff when it comes in, and we don't have them figured out yet to get it to me. So that's all I'm going to say is I do have orders coming, and they all got out before they shut off the dates. So I do have 3 coming. One will be here tomorrow, and the other 2 should be here next week. Hey, expressing my heart. We're just talking wrist candy bracelet tutorial. And now we're talking about tariffs and what you can expect. That's right, Lori. We just need calmness. So that's where we're at and where I'm hoping we get to. We'll see how it all shakes out. And we're going to have to wait and see. I know. Aren't these pretty? I mean, who would have thought? Okay, I got to go back to this here. Sorry, I'm going back to this. So Wendy over here on TikTok came in just a few minutes ago and she was asking what we're doing. But what I have to say is, if you have 6 or 7 of each color beads and have 7 colors, if they all go together, you can use up some of those extra beads and make something very stylish. So let's say, I don't have the right color on. If I had on a black shirt, look at that. That to me is stunning against the black shirt or a white shirt. That is where I'm like, whoo. Or even if we have, if we had one of these colors, like if you had a shirt on that was this yellow, put this on and you got some popping stuff with that. Yep, this is all glass. They are not all faceted. This one has 2 faceted rondelles, 2 faceted rounds, and 2 round. All 6 millimeters for this one. This one has all transparent glass in 6 millimeter round, 6 millimeter faceted rondelle, and an 8 millimeter size bead in here, round. So there's all different kinds. Yep, no, that's okay. We did one the other day where I started talking about the color wheel in it. It was, I'm trying to think. Let me go back to over here. Let me go look and I will tell you which one it is, but I got to figure out where it is at here. There we go. I can tell you really quickly, August, how I chose some of it is that I went and I chose my beads based upon what it looked like for candy. All right. So I grabbed beads that look like candy. Mute channel live. I haven't ended it yet, but we will be here just shortly. And what I do is on my YouTube channel, I do keep them out there. I think it was, oh, it was Tuesday nights. It was the Free Spirit Circle bracelet, which I just did on Tuesday. I think I talked about the color wheel in that one. Oh, yeah, I'm going to end here in a moment. We got some more questions, and then I started talking again. So, yes, go see about that. I don't know where it's at in there. I don't have timestamps or anything, but we talked about picking colors. The Free Spirit Circle bracelet was literally, it wasn't that I did a demo. It was about, yep, I used that. We talked about how to pick beads for that bracelet because you're going to pick more than one color. So it's in there at some point. So yes, that's the one. And that one talks a lot about how I would pick colors for that style of a bracelet, but it can be used for more than just that. So that is the one that, to me, this last Tuesday's one is a lot. That's okay. You're good. All right. Well, I am going to hop off now. We will be back at 3 o'clock with a silicone, and we're going to be, are you kidding me, Miss Geraldine? I will go look. Hi, ham and turkey. I was going to say, I'll be back at 3 o'clock with silicone on TikTok only. Sorry, YouTube. I do not do sales on YouTube because the comments just don't work. All right. Oh, I forgot to do the 10K giveaway. Oh, you guys, I'm scattery today. I know the reason why I'm scattery. Okay, I'll use this one. We're going to put the color in, and then we're going to do the giveaway because I forgot. This is the color last night that Buttercup was like, what? So I'm going to use it. Oh, I know what I can do. Okay. Let's see. Yay, somebody got it. Let's see who it is. Miss Patty B. Oh, I'm sorry I didn't see your comment there, ham and turkey. I do giveaways when we get to certain numbers over on TikTok, and you guys can do it too, which is just really just putting in there. Well, tell your brother hi. And hi, Rogan and Harry. All right, the color was olive. Little Missy Buttercup was like olive because she thinks black olive's not like olive green. Thank you. This is, we're going to do Patty. You get to choice. Bracelet 1, the one we made today. I'll give that one away. Or bracelet 2, the polymer clay Heshi. And this is where if you would mix more than just the 2 colors, this is where you can make it into the candy bracelet also. Aw. Number 2, you got it. You're welcome. So as you, yeah, she's like, olive. And I'm like, seriously? So congratulations, Patty, on the win. And I will be sending yours out over the week. Like when I do my thing over the weekend, I'll send you your winnings. Okay. Oh, cute. All right, everybody. I'm going to hop off. I'm going to get going. Everybody have a great day. See you back at 3 o'clock. I will say we do not have a live tonight. So 3 o'clock is going to be the last live for me today on TikTok. See you then. Bye.